You've probably never given a second thought to which side you sleep on. Most people haven't. You climb into bed, get comfortable, and drift off, usually without a plan. But here's what's happening while you sleep. Your organs are shifting. Your heart is working differently. Your digestive system is either moving with gravity or against it. Your lymphatic system is either draining efficiently or struggling. And after age 50, none of this is trivial anymore. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what medical science says about sleep position, and why sleeping on your right side specifically can create a cascade of health risks that most doctors never mention at checkups. This isn't about being uncomfortable for one night. This is about what happens when you spend thousands of hours, year after year, in the wrong position as your body ages. The average person over 50 spends between 6 to 8 hours asleep each night. That's 2,190 to 2,920 hours per year, over a decade. That's up to 30,000 hours in one position. 30,000 hours. What you do in those hours matters more than almost any other daily habit. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you might completely change how you sleep tonight. But real quick before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about giving you honest, practical health information that actually helps you make better decisions for yourself and your family. We are on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, and every single person who joins this community genuinely matters to us. So if you find today's video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it means the absolute world to us. Okay, now let's really get into it. Section 2. Your body over 50. Why position matters more. Now, before we get into right-side sleeping specifically, I need to give you some context, because this is where the story really begins. What changes after 50 that makes sleep position critical? First, your heart muscle stiffens slightly with age. This is normal, but it means your heart has to work harder to pump blood, especially when there's positional pressure on the surrounding structures. Second, your digestive system slows down. The esophageal sphincter, the little valve between your stomach and your food pipe, becomes weaker. This is why acid reflux becomes so much more common after 50. Third, your lymphatic system, which is your body's internal waste-clearing network, becomes less efficient. Proper sleep position directly affects how well your body detoxifies overnight. Fourth, your spine changes. Discs thin, posture shifts, and pressure points that were harmless at 30 can become significant pain sources at 55 or 60. Key insight. Sleep position isn't just about comfort. It's about which direction gravity is pulling your organs for 7 hours straight, and whether that's working for your body or against it. Now, with that foundation in place, let's talk about the right side specifically. Section 3. The heart problem. Let's start with the most serious issue, your heart. Your heart sits slightly left of center in your chest. When you lie on your right side, your heart is essentially dangling toward the right, pulled down by gravity, slightly compressed against surrounding structures. Now, for a young, healthy heart, this probably doesn't matter much. But here's what the research shows for people over 50. Studies published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology have shown that right-side sleeping can increase the burden on the right ventricle, the chamber responsible for pumping blood to your lungs. For anyone already dealing with heart failure, atrial fibrillation, or hypertension, conditions that are significantly more common after 50, this positional pressure is not something to ignore. Some cardiologists refer to this as positional cardiac loading. Your heart actually works harder when it's not in its optimal anatomical position during sleep. What about the electrical system of the heart? This is where it gets really interesting. Your heart's electrical conduction, the system that keeps your heartbeat regular, can be influenced by the position of the heart within the chest cavity. When positional pressure is applied repeatedly, night after night, it can contribute to arrhythmia in susceptible individuals. A landmark study from the University of Rochester found that patients with pre-existing arrhythmia reported significantly more nighttime palpitations and irregular rhythms when sleeping on their right side. Who should pay special attention? Anyone diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, AFib, anyone taking blood pressure medication, anyone who has experienced nighttime chest discomfort, anyone with a family history of heart disease. And here's the thing most people never consider. Heart disease doesn't announce itself loudly. It creeps up quietly. The choices you make during the third of your life you spend sleeping are part of that story. Now let's move to something that affects virtually everyone over 50 who sleeps on their right: acid reflux. Section 4. The acid reflux connection. Show of hands, how many of you wake up at night with that burning feeling in your chest or throat? GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, affects over 60 million Americans, and the numbers spike dramatically after age 50. And right-side sleeping is directly linked to making it worse. Here's the anatomy. Your stomach is positioned more to the left side of your abdomen. The opening where your esophagus meets your stomach, called the gastroesophageal junction, sits slightly above and to the right of your stomach's main body. When you lie on your right side, gravity pulls stomach acid directly toward the GE junction, the very spot that's supposed to keep acid in your stomach. With a weakened sphincter, which, remember, is more common after 50, that acid doesn't stay where it belongs. When you lie on your left side, gravity does the opposite. It pulls the acid away from the junction and toward the lower part of the stomach, where it belongs. The research is clear. A study published in the American Journal of Gastroenterology found that right-side sleeping increased acid exposure time in the esophagus by more than 70% compared to left-side sleeping in the same subjects on the same night. 70%. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between a good night's sleep and waking up feeling like you swallowed fire. Why does this matter beyond discomfort? Because chronic acid exposure to the esophagus causes a condition called Barrett's esophagus, where the lining of the esophagus changes to try to protect itself from acid. Barrett's esophagus is a precancerous condition. This is not a drill. This is why gastroenterologists increasingly ask their patients about sleep position, because it matters that much. Now, I want to be very clear. Sleeping on your right side doesn't cause cancer, but years of nighttime acid exposure, made worse by right-side sleeping, contributes to a chain of damage that absolutely can. Section 5. Lymphatic drainage and detoxification. This is the section that surprises most people. Most of us think about detoxification as something that happens in the liver or kidneys. And yes, those organs are critical. But there's another system working quietly through your whole body that you probably don't think about much: the lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is a network of vessels and nodes that collects waste products, immune cells, and cellular debris, and moves them toward your lymph nodes for filtering before eventually being excreted. Here's the critical difference between lymph and blood. Your blood has a pump, your heart. Your lymph system has no pump. It moves entirely through muscle contractions, breathing, and gravity. Key fact: the largest collection of lymph nodes in your upper body sits on your left side, centered around your thoracic duct, which is the main lymphatic drainage channel for most of your body. When you sleep on your left side, gravity assists the flow of lymph toward the thoracic duct. Drainage is more efficient. Your body clears waste more effectively overnight. When you sleep on your right side, you're working against the direction of lymphatic flow. Overnight detoxification is compromised. Now, over 50, this becomes especially significant because lymphatic efficiency naturally declines with age. The immune system is more reliant on proper lymph circulation to clear pathogens. Chronic low-grade inflammation, which is linked to heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline, is worsened by poor lymphatic drainage. Every morning you wake up, your body has either had a good detox session or a poor one. Sleep position is one of the underrated factors in that equation. Section 6. The liver and gallbladder. Let's talk about two organs that almost nobody thinks about when discussing sleep position: your liver and your gallbladder. Your liver is the largest internal organ you have. It sits primarily on the right side of your abdomen. And your gallbladder, the small sac that stores bile for digestion, is tucked underneath it. When you sleep on your right side, you're essentially resting the full weight of your upper body on top of these organs for 7 hours. What does this mean practically? Pressure on the liver can impair its overnight detoxification function. The liver does most of its processing work between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., according to traditional Chinese medicine, and increasingly, this timing is supported by modern circadian biology. Compression on the gallbladder can slow or restrict bile flow. Bile that stagnates is more likely to form crystals, and those crystals become gallstones. Gallstone risk increases dramatically after 50, especially in women. Gallstone statistics. Women over 50 are nearly twice as likely to develop gallstones as men. The same age. Risk factors include obesity, rapid weight loss, and prolonged gallbladder compression. Gallstones affect 10 to 15% of adults, with incidence rising sharply after age 50. Now, I want to be fair here. Sleep position alone doesn't cause gallstones. Diet, weight, genetics, all of these play a much larger role. But if you're already in a higher risk category, and many people over 50 are, adding hours of nightly compression to your gallbladder is not helping you. Section 7. The brain, sleep quality, and cognitive health. Here's where things get personal for a lot of people over 50. Cognitive decline, memory loss, brain fog, early dementia is one of the biggest fears we face as we age. And it turns out sleep position has a surprising connection to brain health. In 2019, researchers discovered something remarkable about the brain's own waste clearance system, called the glymphatic system. During deep sleep, cerebrospinal fluid essentially flushes through the brain, clearing out metabolic waste products, including amyloid beta plaques, which are the proteins associated with Alzheimer's disease. The glymphatic discovery. A landmark study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that the glymphatic system operates 60% more efficiently during sleep than during waking hours. And it found that left-side sleeping optimized glymphatic flow, better than back sleeping or right-side sleeping. Think about that for a moment. Your brain is literally cleaning itself while you sleep. And the position you sleep in affects how well that cleaning process works. For anyone over 50, when cognitive health becomes something you actively want to protect, this is not a small thing. There's also the issue of sleep quality itself. Right-side sleeping can worsen snoring and sleep apnea, both of which fragment sleep and prevent you from reaching the deep, restorative REM stages where your brain does its best work. Sleep apnea affects over 30% of adults over 60. Positional therapy, specifically learning to sleep on your left side or back, is one of the first interventions sleep specialists recommend for mild to moderate sleep apnea. Section 8. What to do. Instead, the practical guide. Okay, I know what some of you are thinking. I've slept on my right side my whole life. I'm not going to just stop. I hear you. And the good news is, you don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Here's what the evidence supports, and what actually works. Option 1. Switch to left-side sleeping. This is the gold standard recommendation. Left-side sleeping benefits heart health, reduces acid reflux, supports lymphatic drainage, and optimizes glymphatic brain clearance. The challenge: most people roll back to their habitual position during the night. The solution: use a body pillow behind you. It physically prevents you from rolling to your right. Try the tennis ball trick. Sew a tennis ball into the back of your pajama top so rolling right becomes uncomfortable. Elevate the right side of your mattress very slightly. Just a few degrees of tilt can discourage right side rolling. Option 2. Back sleeping, supine position. For those who can't tolerate side sleeping, back sleeping is generally the second best option for most people over 50. It distributes spinal pressure evenly, keeps organs in their natural position, and doesn't compromise lymphatic or cardiac function the way right-side sleeping does. The caveat: back sleeping can worsen sleep apnea and snoring. If you snore or have been diagnosed with apnea, prioritize left-side sleeping over back sleeping. Option 3. Elevate your head. If switching positions is a work in progress, elevating the head of your bed by 6 to 8 inches uses gravity to keep stomach acid down regardless of which side you're on. This is especially helpful if GERD is your primary concern. Note: This is different from just adding pillows under your head. You want the whole head of the bed raised, not just your neck. Your quick action plan. 1. Tonight, try starting sleep on your left side too. This week, get a body pillow to support the transition. 3. This month, track how your sleep quality, reflux, and morning energy change. 4. Talk to your doctor. If you have heart conditions, reflux, or snoring, ask specifically about sleep position. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Your body is not the same at 50, 60, or 70 as it was at 30. It's not worse. It's different. And some of those differences mean that habits that worked for decades need to be revisited. Sleep is not passive. While you're unconscious, your heart is managing pressure. Your digestive system is processing. Your lymph is draining. Your brain is cleaning itself. These are active, life-sustaining processes, and sleep position influences all of them. The right side of your body might feel like the comfortable side, but comfortable and optimal are not always the same thing. One small change. Left side tonight. That's all I'm asking. If you found this useful, please share it with someone over 50 in your life. This is exactly the kind of information that gets buried under flashy headlines and never actually reaches the people who need it. Hit subscribe if you want more content like this. Practical, research-based health information specifically for people navigating the second half of life. And drop a comment below. What position do you usually sleep in? Has acid reflux, heart health, or sleep quality been something you've been dealing with? Let me know. I read every comment, and your questions shape the content I make next. Until next time, sleep well and sleep smart.